Hey guys, welcome to Retro Gaijin Reviews.
Gah! I am all that is man.
Today, we have Super Smash Brothers for the 3DS. Just a heads up, this review will contain spoilers. If you don't know the entire roster yet, or you want to keep the game a surprise, just move along to something better. First off, the game looks great, and it runs at a really nice 60 frames per second. And there was kind of something special, you can hold Smash in your hands for the first time. That felt really, really nice. So we have 48 characters in total. 49 if you count the Mii Fighters, but you can't take the Mii Fighters online into 1v1 for glory matches, which is something I really like to do. There's 15 new characters, with the rest being present in either Brawl or Melee. Spoiler, Dr. Mario is in the game, which is notable because he didn't make it into Brawl, but he was in Melee. The new characters, they all feel really, really balanced. They mix up a lot of the traditional playstyles we've been used to. So for example, Duck Hunt, he plays in this really trollish method where he spaces out opponents and chucks 8-bit inspired projectiles at them. While Little Mac is really good on the ground, but has a really terrible recovery. My favorite characters so far have been Mario, Rob, Duck Hunt, Sheik, and Yoshi. I have to say this, it's kind of sad, but a big disappointment for me was Mega Man. A lot of other people I've talked to who have got their hands on the game, they also kind of agree with me. He controls very awkwardly and he doesn't feel as responsive as, say, Mario. That being said, I do feel that a lot of the characters in the game feel way more balanced than in previous Smash iterations. Bowser is faster and he hits really hard. Mario is agile and can whip combos around like a boss. And Fox has his speed nerfed appropriately. Many people ask me how the game feels on a 3DS. I use a 3DS XL, and it feels pretty good. The buttons respond well, and while it's kind of disappointing you can't switch it, you control your character by the circle pad. You can't use the D-pad to move your character around. Those are for taunts only. There are options where you can switch your attack, jump, block, roll button to any of the other face buttons, but I would have really liked to see, kind of switch these two. That would have been nice. The game does give you an option as well, like you can hit up to jump, but I turned it off so that I can do up attacks easier. However, if you've seen anybody stream the game, then I'm sure you've heard them complain about like their hands hurting. So I can play for a couple matches, maybe like half an hour, before my hands just become like, oh, like it's all the blood is getting sucked from it and it just turns into jelly. But, the Wii U version's coming out soon, so you can use a GameCube controller for that one, and we're all just kind of waiting for that to happen anyway. It makes me feel a little better. Now, I don't want to compare this game to Melee and Brawl too much, because I don't want to get caught up in how it should have been versus what it is. However, I would agree with some people who say that this game mixes the speed of Melee with the balance of Brawl. Just don't go in expecting Smash Brawl Project M version 2 Hyper Edition, because for better or worse, it feels much more like Brawl than Melee. It should be noted that edge guarding is gone. If you're holding onto a ledge and somebody else comes to grab the ledge, you fall off and they take your spot. Here's an example. This mechanic makes matches much longer, and it puts more emphasis on really smashing your opponent off the screen. Next, let's talk about multiplayer. The game, of course, goes about presenting itself as like a 4-player couch party game with silly levels and items to make things pretty interesting. But for myself, and thousands of other fans out there, I crave the challenge and intensity of a 1v1 no item stock battle to the death, and this game delivers. We can't talk about multiplayer without discussing how online works in the game. I know that we were all really, really disappointed with how Brawl went about putting its online into action. I was so hyped for it, and then when it came, it was just poop. It was so sad. They would have been better just leaving it out entirely and not teasing us with what really could have been. But guys, this time they did it right. Mostly. There's a 1v1 Final Destination option called For Glory that I love and will probably be the most selected mode for myself and a lot of other people. The game lets you choose your character, and then it automatically matches you with someone who is supposedly in your skill level. I'm not 100% sure on how this works because I've been matched with some really, really bad people. Maybe it's just because the game just came out and the ranking systems are all kind of out of whack. I don't really understand how that happens. So after you choose your character, the game chooses a random Final Destination version of Smash 4's awesome levels, which gives each battle a little more variety. Each match is a 1v1 2-stock 5-minute no item battle. Connections vary from person to person. I live in Japan, so sometimes it's okay, but sometimes the lag gets a little unbearable. But for the most part, the game plays smooth, and it's exactly what I wanted from Smash Bros.'s first serious attempt at online. Check it out. Boosha, baby. A sick combo to end it. So after that battle, you know, I would have liked to see more visible ranking rewards. Like, my favorite was Halo 2, where you have your number and that's your rank, and it's all very simple. We don't really see that in this iteration. There's a very strange ranking system. You have to kind of go deep to find your real rank. There's other videos that Nintendo made that kind of go into it more. But for the most part, we're getting lag-free, input lag-free online for us to enjoy. Also, be careful if you're the type of person who leaves a game while you're playing online, because you'll have to wait 10 minutes for the next battle as your punishment. Now for the single player. So there's a lot of modes to entertain yourself while you aren't just destroying kids online, such as the classic mode where you fight characters and teams on your way to the final match with Master Hand. And there's a few surprises on the way. While you're going through it, it's called simple mode, and you can choose one of 3 paths, and each path has a little icon of the character you're about to fight. And so you can kind of choose your path a little bit. I won't spoil anything for you, especially when the final boss is really cool. But I've found myself enjoying it while I was, you know, waiting for my 10 minutes to end so I could get back online. Smash's home run contest for Melee and Brawl are found here as well, and are pretty basic. I always enjoyed Break the Targets from the other games, and I was appalled at what I found replaced it in this game. Fucking Angry Birds. You're given a bomb to hit for 10 seconds, and then it sends it launching at a pile of shit for a high score. It's really disappointing. There's like no skill involved at all. I was really pissed off when I first checked that out. But anyway, I don't really see myself hanging around in those modes too much. At least we do get a faithful recreation of the All-Star mode, which is pretty cool. And this time it groups your opponents based on the year they debuted on the gaming scene, which is a nice little touch. Single player also includes a new mode called Smash Run. A lot of people that watch me stream, they want me to do it. I did it once or twice, and it's really disappointing. This mode lets you run around in an area, killing everything in your way, in an attempt to gain bonuses and upgrades that you use in a final match against other players at the end of the time limit. While it's fun to see Link like running around like a crazy maniac, with all these speed boosts and whatnot, by the end of the 5 minutes it kind of loses its flair, and you're like, when the hell is this going to be over? At the very end of the 5 minutes, you fight the other 3 people that were also doing the Smash Run, and you carry over your power-ups and whatnot into the fight. It's not really something that I want to return to, but I have heard it's one of the best ways to unlock custom moves for your characters. So custom moves can be used to give your favorite characters some new flair, and in some cases like completely new moves to use. Mega Man, for example, has completely different custom moves than his basic moveset, giving him bombs and floating skulls to use. While it was fun to mess around with these things, you can't take your custom character, or your Mii that you also make, into the 1v1 Final Destination 4 Glory mode, which kind of makes it a waste of time for competitive people like myself. But maybe we can see some fun custom move tournaments appear on the scene. That'd be kind of cool. Smash 4 is a well-balanced, feature-filled, fun party game. That would be enough for most, but the things I really cared about, and really worried about, were how the game would feel online, and whether or not it would be able to stay in the competitive fighting game scene. It does. And I cannot wait to play this game with a GameCube controller in my hands. Oh. I'm gonna give Smash an 8 out of 10. The online is really fun, but it does lack some hardcore ranking, things that are present in other competitive games. Also, if you don't have an online connection and you're only playing by yourself, I can see how it could get pretty boring pretty quickly. I don't know if the Wii version will have more options or less or more characters or what, but when the game comes out, come on back here, we'll get on it. Smash on, people.
He's gone. For sure. Hats off to you, buddy.